For hole 1, you're going to be using a sniper bounce over shot. You can use sniper 8, 9, or 10. You're going to use max right spin with a sliver of top spin. Your white ring is going to be touching the rough. Here I'm at the +3 mark, and your sniper 9 and 8 will be at a different mark. Here I was actually aiming at the right edge of the cup, and I should actually just not even offset it and point it directly at the cup. Here we're going to be pulling at an 1159 pull angle instead of a 1201, and you are going to play at 25% over adjustment at max distance. So again, that's going to be at max distance with a plus 25% over adjustment. For hole 2, I'm opting to use a Thor's hammer. You can use a Thor's hammer 5, 6, or 7. You're basically going to be using 6 topspin. I only used 5.5 here, but you're going to use 6 topspin with 2 left spin. You're going to aim your ball guide at the hole and then over adjust your shot with a plus 15% over adjustment, and then you will push up to max. When you go to take your shot, you're only going to be using maybe 2 rings of overpower at the most. If you want to try and go for the hole in 1, you're going to have to get greedy on the overpower, or you can switch to a power 4 ball and play with that. But here I'm only doing a couple rings of overpower, so again, just use slight overpower unless you want to get greedy and go for the hole in 1. Then use a little bit more overpower or more topspin if you have a Thor 7. Since hole 3 has been reworked, we are going to be playing this a little bit differently than we normally would. We're going to be using a Kingmaker with either your extra mile or your APOC 4, 5, or 6. Here we're going to do 2 left spin with 4.5 top spin. If you are using an extra mile, I would only do 4.5 top spin as well. You are then going to basically aim down the center of the fairway where your ball guide is just going over to the right hand side of that rough. So I'm just kind of aiming down the center there, and then I'm going to over adjust my shot with a plus 10% over adjustment of my shot. Then you will push up to max. Make sure you push up to max, otherwise you're going to be extremely short on your drive. So here we push up to max, and then I'm going to use baby right curl, and I'm going to use about a ring to 2 rings of overpower. Do not overdo the overpower or you will go long. So here again, I'm only doing a little bit of overpower. If you have an APOC 5 or 6, do even less overpower than I did there. This morning I saw Damien do a no spin bounce over sniper shot, so I decided to go ahead and try it. We are playing this shot with a plus 20% over adjustment of our shot. So again, we are near max distance, but we are at the 0 yard mark. So I put the power, instead of a power 3 in my app, I switched it to a power 0 and used those numbers. So again, I played this at max distance with a plus 20% over adjustment with a power 0 in my app, which comes out to be 65% of my slider with a power 3 in your app. So if you would like to use 384 at 65% slider, we can see if that works, and then try and dial that those yardages in, which I will find out more tomorrow when I play 2 more accounts tomorrow. If you have an APOC 4, 5, or 6, I suggest maybe going to the left side. You can go to the right side if you are comfortable going that way, but I am more comfortable going to the left side. I'm going to use max top spin with 2 bars of right spin, and then my blue ring is going to be just cutting into the rough. I'm going to over adjust my shot with a plus 10% over adjustment of my shot, and then I'm going to use max overpower, and my curl is going to be just outside the triangle. So make sure you push up to max. Then you're going to basically go full overpower and just outside the triangle, and you're going to try and hit perfect. Great left is okay. It will still get you to the fairway. Double great right is not very good, but a single great right is okay. This sets us up for a thorn shot, and I do play this with a plus 5% over adjustment of my shot. Here I played at a 75% of my slider with a plus 5% over adjustment. The only thing that we need to dial in is how much backspin is enough to get to the hole versus stopping short of the hole. So here I just used too much backspin, but I was on line going to the hole, so that is a good sign that where I hit my ball, that this is basically at 75% slider. So go back and see where my ball club changed, and then you know that you're around 75% of your club, and just do less backspin than I have here. But +5 does seem to be working. We just need to figure out the backspin. For hole 5, I do play this shot differently. You can use any driver of your choosing. I'm going to be playing this shot at mid distance with a +20% over adjustment. I'm using max right spin with 4.5 top spin. Here I did 5, but I did decrease it back to 4.5. I'm having my second bounce just over the rough line, my blue ring into the rough to the right, and then I'm going to over adjust my shot with a +20% over adjustment at mid distance of my club, and then I'm going to basically give it about a quarter ball of curl to the right. If you have a sniper 9 or 10, this next shot is going to be a little bit easier for you. If you have a sniper 8, this is going to be a very difficult funnel for you to find. I'm basically doing max right spin, and then I'm going to spin my ball guide up to the upper part of the left corner. There is a funnel up there. Your white ring is going to be near the sand bunker, not into the sand bunker, but you want to have it near it. Your spin is going to vary depending on how far you get up. You're then going to over adjust your shot at a 0% elevation. So this is at max distance with a 0% elevation, and your ball guide going up into that funnel. I did give it a little bit of baby right curl to help it out, and then you are going to try to hit perfect. So I'm still debating if I need this curl or not. I might not need the curl, and tomorrow I will not use the curl unless I think it's necessary, just to see what it will do. But that's the funnel right up on the corner there, and this will drop. I guarantee it this weekend. For hole 6, I have this same shot going twice, so I can take a little longer to explain what I'm doing. If you have a sniper 10, you're going to start at the +5 as it goes from the +6 to the +5. With a sniper 9, you're going to be at the +7, and with a sniper 8 at the +11. You're going to have a kingmaker. You're going to use 1.8 side spin to the left and 1 backspin. This is with a 5.7 wind. Your red ring is going to be touching the bunker on the right hand side, basically at your yardage marker. So you want to be at the upper part of your yardage marker that you are using. So here I was at the upper part of my +5, and then I adjusted my shot with a +20% over adjustment at mid distance of my sniper. Now what I think the theory here is that the less wind we have, the less side spin we are going to use, because I have missed this to the left of the hole with a lesser wind. So I think below 5 miles an hour that we're actually going to be down to maybe 1.5 side spin to the left instead of 1.8. So this is still going to be not going to be dialed in until the weekend, until I can figure out the wind. But so far my theory, I believe, is the less wind you have, the less side spin you are going to use. So again, with a sniper 10, you're starting at the +5, sniper 9 the +7, and a sniper 8 at the +11. You are going to be over adjusting your shot with a +20% over adjustment at mid distance of your sniper, and your red ring is going to be touching the sand bunker. So again, this is still going to be a shot that is going to be needed to be tweaked due to the various wind angles, but I believe the less wind we have, the less side spin that we're going to need. Also, we're going to be pulling at a strong 1201 pull angle. So hole 7, I'm not sure what needs to be tweaked just yet, so this will still be a work in progress. Max right spin with 2.5 top spin with your quarterback. You're going to have the blue ring touching the rough right by cutting the shadow there. So basically, that shadow is going to be halfway in between your ball. Basically, it's going to be halfway in between, if that makes sense. Anyway, we are adjusting this shot at 1-to-1, so 1 wind per ring. So my wind was 4.5. I adjusted 4.5 rings, and then here is the curl. I went just over the edge of the ring, and I'm still not sure what needs to be changed to help the ball get further to the hole. So I think I needed to back off the curl just a tad bit and we would have been fine, or I needed just a click more of topspin. So this is still a shot that needs to be worked on, but I am playing this at 1-1 with 2.5 top, max right, and the curl just over the edge of the ring. Now for hole 8, this is the fun hole. If you don't have a Thor 5, 6, or 7, use a big topper. But here with a Thor 6, I'm using max topspin, 2 bars. You can do 1 to 2 bars of a right spin. I think I did 2 bars of right spin here, and then I'm basically just aiming down the center of the fairway. My red ring is cutting about halfway into the rough. I suggest maybe pulling back out a little bit because I was a little bit close to that rough, so I would have the red ring just inside to the rough, and I'm adjusting this shot with a plus 15% over adjustment of my shot. So again, we're playing this at max distance with a plus 15% over adjustment, and we're just basically trying to bounce it over and get it over to either the fairway or the green, depends on where it goes. Here I clipped, no big deal. The end bringer shot is very, very easy to do. When you do get into your end bringer range, you're going to do max right spin with max top spin, and basically just offset your ball guide to the edge of the cup. If it's around a 6 mile an hour wind, I would do it just outside, basically just outside of the cup. But the end bringer chip is really easy to get. So again, this is played with a plus 15% over adjustment at max distance. For hole 9, I have dropped the albatross twice now on 4 accounts once I figured it out. Here I'm going to be playing with my Thor hammer. You can play with a Thor 5, 6, or 7. You can play with any driver of your choosing. Here I'm doing about 6 bars of top spin with max right spin. I'm going to be going almost to max distance, about 2 yards shy of max distance, aiming to the right of that fairway or right of that rough, and then I'm going to over adjust my shot with a plus 20% elevation. So here I adjusted at max distance with a plus 20% over adjustment of my shot, and then my curl is going to be just outside the ring again for the curl. So again, max distance with a plus 20% over adjustment of your shot, 6 top spin, max right spin, curl just outside the ring. So at yardage 365 and 366, I have hit this albatross twice now at 0% elevation at mid distance of my sniper. I'm doing 3 bars of right spin with 1 bar of top spin. My right ring is going to be just inside to the rough, and my ball guide is going to be going to the hole. So I'm basically trying to aim my ball guide to the hole. My white ring is just into the rough, and I'm adjusting at 0% elevation at mid distance of my sniper. And then you're just going to take a normal shot. I am not curling this shot whatsoever. So again, guys, if there are any updates, I will update you as soon as possible. We are working on the notes, so hopefully those notes will be out tomorrow and tomorrow night at the latest. So again, happy golfing, guys. Good luck on this tournament, and I will update you as soon as possible on anything that I find out. So good luck, guys.